Good evening, otherworldlies. This is Juliana Angel, your dark mask diva. Tonight we are at Cinema West in Sacramento, California. And here I am with Mr. Grinch. Yes, this is where a Talon works. That is Sensational Delights, for those of you who don't know what I call him. And we saw the Grinch movie tonight. How old were you guys when you first saw the Grinch movie? I don't mean the animated movie. I mean the movie with Jim Carrey. So were you guys kids when you first saw that movie? Okay, well, I was a little older when I saw that movie, and we had it on VHS, right? We had it on VHS. Then we had it on DVD. And I'd seen it in the theater before, and I saw it in the theater again today, otherworldlies, okay? And I don't know, do you guys ever like dress up or wear like t-shirts or sweaters or whatever like that when you come to the movies or anything like that? Well, I brought my Grinch doll. I've had this Grinch doll since 1999. It's actually, it's a backpack. So you can put like whatever back here. It's like a purse. Okay, so, but I just have him like as a stuffed animal. So I bring the Grinch out during the holidays. So I brought the Grinch to the movies, and everybody was like, "Oh, look how cute!" So when I go to the movies, and I go to the movies to celebrate something that I've seen before, or I'm a big fan of, or whatever, and I am just like a huge fan of the Grinch, I bring the Grinch with me. And everybody points at it like, "Where did you get that?" And I said, at some department store, like 25 plus years ago or whatever. And people are like, "Wow, you took really good care of it." I'm like, "Yes, I did," because I only bring him out like around the holidays. So here's Mr. Grinch. I love Mr. Grinch. Total fan of Mr. Grinch, right? So did you guys see Mr. Grinch as a kid? Right? We all did, right? We all love him, right? So I think we could all kind of like, if you can't relate to him, you have a relative who's like Mr. Grinch. You have a relative who does not like Christmas, right? Like you're like, is really sick of spending money on Christmas presents, or, like annoyed, like doesn't want to spend money on Hanukkah presents, or just does not want to spend money on presents, period, right? We all know people like that. It's kind of annoying or whatever, or it's kind of annoying when you don't have a whole lot of money to spend on gifts, or you just don't want to do gift exchange, or really tired of the ugly Christmas sweaters and stuff like that, right? People are just, some people just really don't like the holidays, or they just don't have the holiday spirit, or they're just kind of like, if you're like a recluse like Mr. Grinch, right? So anyway, hi Etalon. Etalon is sitting across from me. He's got some yummy looking pizza. He's on his break right now. So when the difference between watching Mr. Grinch as a kid and Mr. Grinch as a grown-up, you're seeing all the adult nuances in the film. And, okay? Yeah, okay. So you're seeing all the adult nuances in the film. You're seeing Mr. Grinch, flirt with Martha May, and you're just seeing all the adult jokes in the movie, and you're just cracking up at Mr. Grinch, and Jim Carrey is Mr. Grinch, and all the faces he makes and everything like that, and just seeing it's funny seeing Taylor Momsen as a little girl. That's just really funny, because she's a recording artist now. Etalon's rocking out over there. So and it's funny because the guy that sells the hats and everything like that, Etalon called him a haberdashery or something like that. Haberdasher. Okay, he wasn't, you guys. He looked like a pimp, okay? He looked like a pimp. And I'm just cracking up, That's something you don't notice when you're a kid when you see the movie, or you just kind of like, you blink and you miss it, okay? But he was like, he's straight up a pimp, okay? And then you see the cop, and he's wearing his Christmas necklace. It's made out of donuts, right? I'm just like sitting there. It's one of those blink or you'll miss it. And then in one part of the movie, the dad said tampon. Blink or you'll miss it. Seriously, you really have to be paying attention and like seeing it as a grown-up to like really see the grown-up jokes. And the Grinch is like gets stuck in the chimney, and he's like, this water weight is going straight to my hips. Oh my gosh, cracking me up. Just jokes that, you know, only adults think are funny. So I'm sitting there with this, you know, as an adult with a stuffed Grinch in my lap with, you know, my Grinch toy and everything as a grown-up. You know, and I'm sure people are laughing at me like, that grown lady has a Grinch doll. Yeah. So, you know, the little kids are probably jealous, so they probably want a Grinch doll, right? Well, some of the grown-ups probably do too, just saying. But, yeah, so I'm having the best time with my Etalon. We're watching the Grinch, got my Grinch doll. We're laughing and everything, just picking up on all the grown-up jokes. You guys ever notice in the beginning of the movie that they're all throwing their keys in a bowl at the beginning of the movie? You guys know what that's about, right? Okay, I'm not going to say what that's about unless you guys know what that's about. Yeah. So that's cracking me up. All these other things that you're just not going to pick up on, all those adult nuances. But I just think it's so funny how Martha May is just like, she's so gaga over that Grinch. That's just so funny. But it just cracks me up. He's just like so, he just hates Christmas so much, and you can't blame him. You know, he comes from somewhere far away where obviously, you know, he's green, he's furry, you know, he's different or whatever, and they treat him like a freak. So he goes and lives alone in a cave, and he hoards a bunch of trash. Well, that's usually what happens when people treat you like a freak. You go hang out somewhere alone, and you do hoard a lot of trash, right? That's what happens when you're like traumatized. You go live alone and hoard some trash, right? And you have a lot of time to think, and you have a lot of time to grow bitter, and you just have a lot of time to just get how he gets, right? So kind of like, I can't help but sympathize with the guy, okay? And I mean, he's hanging out there with his dog, and he's like watching TV or whatever he does, and he has this big cave all to himself, and he just has a bunch of junk. And the weird thing about the Grinch is he can eat junk. So it's not like he has to have a job. Something about the Grinch's tummy is he can digest junk. So he's probably like part goat or something, because he can eat junk. So I don't know what the Grinch really is, because he doesn't like normal food. He can like eat light bulbs, and he can eat like cans, and he can eat things that goats can eat. So the Grinch is a trip. I mean, I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but the Grinch can actually like eat trash. So whatever they throw away, he can actually eat. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not, but that kind of, like when I was a kid, I was like, whoa, that's really weird. So, and he's kind of like this mad scientist up there, like doing all these crazy things in his cave, and he's kind of like, they just treat him like a total freak and everything, but he's kind of this like evil genius, you know. So the Grinch is very fascinating. He's a very fascinating character. He's kind of like this misunderstood genius there in his cave, you know. So I just love the Grinch, and Etalon and I sat and watched that movie and just laughed. And the thing about that movie is it's hilarious, and it never gets old. So if you find yourself at Cinema West in Sacramento, you guys need to come and check out the Grinch, because you know, the movie just never gets old. The cartoon never gets old. I remember I saw it for the first time when I was 7, and it debuted on the TV. Yes, you guys, I'm that old. Yes. I love that cartoon so much, and that's when it debuted. I mean, yeah, I'm that old. So, I mean, and I remembered that very night, and the song. Oh my gosh. And I sat there with my parents going, oh, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And this Grinch is like, he's so dark and evil and mean. I love him. He was just this like relatable character. This wasn't any Frosty the Snowman or Rudolph or anything like that. This guy was, he was relatable. You know, you can't really blame him for being bitter and wanting to go like, you know, live up alone and be a recluse and you know, hoard trash and like hate everybody. I mean, can you blame him? Come on, you know. So anyway, it was just, this movie never gets old, you guys. It's just a great movie. So guys need to come. You guys probably own it at your house, right? Well, it's worth coming to see at the theater again. So please come see the Grinch again. Bring the kids. Bring everybody. Everybody loves this movie. And we'll see you there. All right, otherworldlies, you guys have a wonderful evening. And I am going to enjoy a Talon's break with him. He's sitting right here. And I will see you guys in the next content. Bye-bye.